Losing is humbling, and the more experience you have in something, the easier it gets to project, to blame everything outside your control, and to quietly avoid taking responsibility for the loss. But the first thing you have to accept if you actually want to get better is that you don't know everything. Sometimes you need to ask for help, or just look at the problem a different way. I'll be honest, I haven't done that in a while. I'm not trying to get better at this game. I'm already happy with where I am. But I know how important this process is. So I thought maybe it would be a good idea to jump back in to a game that I lost and figure out exactly where it went wrong. And maybe at the end of it, I'm going to end up a much, much better player. What's going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back it's time to play a game here of actually analyzing, actually trying to break down where things went wrong, actually trying to get better. I think this is something that, well, this is what I did when I was learning the game, way back in like 2000. I think I started doing it in like 2010, seriously. So around, I mean, if we go through the journey of my Age of Mythology learning experience or learning RTS in general, the first chunk of it was mostly just mechanics, right? I couldn't play the game. I didn't know how to build villages consistently. I didn't know how to build military consistently. I didn't know how to micro very well and what the tricks were and all that other stuff, what I had to focus on in fights. I didn't know any of that stuff. So that was what happened early on in Age of Mythology. When I hit 2010, 2011, this is where my skill kind of shot up a lot. I jumped from like a 1750-ish player to top 1 in vanilla over that course of that period. And the way that I did it was I was looking at my own gameplay and I was trying to see where things went wrong when I lost, where things could have gone wrong when I won. And I was just saying to myself, just because I won a game, or, well, so first and foremost, just because I won a game, that doesn't mean that I played it perfectly. It doesn't mean that I should have won the game either. It means that I should have beaten the player that I played against. Why did I beat the player that I played against? Those sort of things. And especially when I lost meant that I didn't make the right plays. I did something wrong. And oftentimes back then, the main problem was actually, because honestly, players weren't that good back then. The main problem often just came down to macro or some sort of decision making that just wasn't very good. So this game here, I play against Soup. I think Soup is better than me at the moment. I'm going to be straight up. He is a top 10 player, probably, arguably, considering the tournament that just happened, he would be ranked 9 out of all the players currently playing the game. So top 10. Me, I don't think I'm top 16 at the moment. That's the honest truth. I don't think I am. I'm losing to everyone at the higher levels. I'm not trying to be the best player in the world at the moment. I am trying to be, I'm trying to make content and I'm trying to have a fun time doing it. So anyways, let me talk you through this matchup, my thought process, and what's going to happen there. So I note that this game here, I'm playing Noir against Loki. My base is very, very defensive, so he can't do anything. I've got myself back forest. I got myself the whole back of this position completely protected. I'm building my base in a defensive way. This does limit the amount of favor that I get, but I don't believe that more favor is going to help me in this one. So there's that. Recently, Norse has had a bit of a glow up. Before Norse had the buffs, I would say that this matchup, you could oftentimes just force fights with China and find wins. I don't know if that's actually the case anymore. So yeah, we're going to take a look at exactly what's going on. So right now, I'm feeling like, and this could be where my first mistake is, I'm feeling like I have to be the defender here. You can actually see on the military differential that I've got a lot of food in the bank. So there might be something incorrect here in my build order. I am going to be building Halberdier. But yeah, there might be something very, very wrong with my build order. That means that I'm not getting the units out that I should be fast enough. Like if you take a quick look at exactly if I spent everything here, I should probably be closer to maybe. Nah, I mean, even if I macroed this even perfectly, I'd probably only be at like 1300, a couple more units out. So I'd only be a tiny little bit in front of him, of Soup here. So, and on top of that, if I leave my base at this moment and he charges in, I'm not fully walled in just yet. I've basically locked my base off in a way that means that if he does charge in, he's going to take losses. That's the main thing here. So I don't think that any improvements on this build would really change the position. So yes, it would be better for me to spend my resources better. I'm going to say that straight up, but no, I don't think that is a main issue. Now I'm dropping my armory here, which might be the first kind of not sure about this moment. So this is 150 resources. This here is going to be 300 resources, so that's 450 resources. Let's keep that in the back of my mind, because this is something that could make a significant difference depending on what the actual value of what this ballistics is. The reason I did this is because I need to have my fire archers hitting moving Hersa on the defense. That's mostly what I'm concerned about. Now, if I'm thinking about that and saying, if I bought this for the defense, then what? So I also have to realize that he can see my base. So if we take a quick look at what he can see here, he can see this. You can't actually see a whole lot at the back of my base. So maybe I'm okay with slight move outs and trying to figure things out. So I see his army. I see my army. And at this point, I see there's only a handful of throwing axemen. And this is probably the first moment where I need to really adapt. Because I've got 8 halberdiers and he has 8 raiding cavalry. And I am getting very, very much itchy on wanting to take a fight here. I want to take a fight because I see the lack of throwing axemen, right? 5 throwing axemen, I'll kill them off basically instantly, right? At this point now, I'm also seeing an opportunity for some tomfoolery, and he does come in with the raiding cavalry. He's looking to kill my villagers here. I pop out with my halberdier. I'm trying to get the ghost buildings down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, if I nailed this and I got the ghost buildings down correctly, and I had the spend, I would have killed off 8 or 7 raiding cavalry. And I would be in a very, very significant advantage here. So this is always going to be something that I should be looking for and looking to do really, really well. But yeah, okay. So here comes the first sort of opportunity to look for any sort of fights. I've got my upgrades coming through. I have medium archers, and yeah, I'm looking to take a fight on this position, right? The issue with taking a fight here is that his healing spring is here. Now, if I pause and I look at other options to attack, realistically, there isn't anything here. Like, I could go and raid with my Chillin. He has 5.5 speed Hersa. So if I go and raid with the Chillin, they're basically dead unless I can completely catch the Hersa out of position. So I have to make a movement around here, in onto this position, through this tower here, through this tower here. So getting in here and making some sort of economic damage seems unlikely, right? Unless I do it during a fight or something where he's preoccupied and I just catch him out. So it's an outplay. It's kind of trying to yeah, it's just an outplay. Okay, so I'm still looking for these fights. We're still basically equal here. I've got my upgrades in on my units. I'm actually in front, I believe, on armory upgrades. Let me have a quick look at what he's got. Yep, I have armory upgrades. He does not. He is going to be looking for his fight, and I'm ready to simply just take a small fight. We trade slight bits of units here. Micro here is kind of everything. I'm making a mistake here. This here is maybe not the most significant of mistakes, but it is a mistake. The mistake that I made is I am pushing into his army when I'm playing an army which cannot push into an army. I have, so what does that mean? My front line, right? My front line wants to hit his cav. My back line wants to hit his archers. His back line wants to hit my infantry. His front line wants to hit my back line. So funnily enough, we actually both have an army here that can't engage. And now we're back into this position, and how many halberdier do I actually have is the question. I have 5. So when I look at this position and I go, oh, what went wrong here? I mean, the whole answer, the whole obvious thing is I made one bad move to walk forward. I lost a bunch of halberdier on that movement, and I overproduced fire archers. I have 20 fire archers. Now, yes, he's got himself 9 Herser, 6 throwing axemen. Yes, that's the case, but he's also got himself 14 raiding cavalry. So I need to be having myself enough halberdier in order to kill off those raiding cavalry. The fire archer numbers, funnily enough, aren't really that much value. Take a look at the damage that they actually all do. Now I am microing, trying to take out the back line, but my front line is gone. And I still haven't dealt with all the Hersers. So we lose that fight by about 1,000 resources. You can see the difference, which is not good. And I now need to, yeah. So basically, this is the next issue. I took a fight which I could not win, and this is based on the fact that I had too many fire archers. I took a fight that I cannot win, and I'm playing against Loki. When you're playing against Norse, when you're playing against Japan, taking a fight that you cannot win is game over, because they get a whole bunch of favor from it. And importantly, Loki gets a bunch of resources from it because he gets the free myth units. So similar to, what's the god? Huitzilopochtli, who gets resources from Tenali. Yeah. Similar to that. The Loki gets the resources in the myth units. So another thing here that I made a mistake on is, why did I not utilize the clay peasants immediately? Now, I note that at the start, I was floating resources and I wasn't able to spend everything, which is probably why I didn't use it. But at, say, I don't know, 7-8 minutes into the game, when I needed more resources, when I maybe needed more food, why didn't I just build more? Why didn't I just build more stuff? Now, here's another thing that I need to maybe start doing. And I do it a little bit, but I need to separate out the halberdier from my main army. So there's 2 movements here. One, archers need to go forward and halberdier need to go back. So, and then when the raiding cavalry charge forward, I need to be in a good enough position with the halberdier that I can almost speed walk back into position there. So you can actually see now that I'm so far behind on military. I have no resources in the bank. I'm trying to spam. I'm actually building a chillin here, which I think is not a terrible idea because he's only got 4 Herser. If I can pick those off, then the chillin can be a big value. But he's also got a bunch of trolls in the back there, and I've only got 3 heroes. So we both don't have enough heroes to deal with myth units at this moment. So there is that, and I'm looking for. This is me getting scared on the whole thing, and I look for a pretty stupid fight here where I can get in with my fire archers and try and prevent him from actually doing any significant micro with the raiding cavalry. This was dumb. I should have kept staying back and sitting on my Kwafu. Maybe, just maybe here, there was an option for me to pull this game back by sitting on the gold mine. If I sit on the gold mine and I use my Kwafu to fight when he actually pushes in, and I just keep on keeping him at bay while I try to catch up to, let's just call it 175 pop a piece, then maybe I can actually win the fight. The other thing here is I don't believe he got a single armory upgrade. So if it went that way, and I don't even know if he built an armory. No, he didn't. So if it went that way, my army should be higher quality when we get to that position. So if I did play a delay of game as hard as I possibly could here, then I'm fairly sure that I can continue, even with this massive mistake that I made early on. So yeah, the Kwafu joining in on the fight, it's a big amount of DPS. It's 11 pierce damage per second. So if you think about how much pierce damage per second, say, Toxotes adds into a fight and how valuable that is, well, Toxotes are dealing something like 6 DPS per second at base. Let me just have a quick look. So nice judgment here. This is, 6. So it's basically well, almost 2 Toxotes at base. So it's kind of like I've got myself an extra 4 population per Kwafu in the army. So if I had sat back on this position and just played a bit of keep him off me type ideas, the only issue is that my villagers over here could get raided, but I did have Vanish for that, so I could click Vanish on this and then sit back and wait and wait and wait. And if he wants to come in, we turn with Kwafu, and we probably continue along in this game, and we might be able to get into the next stage of the game where I might be able to have some opportunities to make a comeback. But the way that I played this first fight, very bad on the fact that I threw away Halberdiers into his Thrown Axeman. So I think that you can't push forward into a Norse player is my main takeaway from this situation, which then opens up the fact that if I can't push forward into the Norse player as China, that means that I am the defender in the matchup. Until there's something that changes in the matchup. For example, the Norse player greeds out a town center, or the Norse player greeds out a heroic age. And that, in that case, things change. So for example, if, say, I sit back, play defense, he can't push into me, remember? Because if he pushes into me, then my halberdiers are there to stop his raiding cavalry, and immediately my fire archers are going to be on top of his Thrown Axeman or on top of his Herser, getting value. I can shoot and scoot backwards. He can't push into me. So that's number one. Also, he can't use the healing spring. So that's number one. He can't do that. He has to look for raids. I'm defended. Fine. There's no way that I can lose the game if I simply just don't attack him. If I don't attack him, though, he can also set up walls and things like that. If he does that, I have to be proactively seeing that. If he does do that, then maybe I grab a town center. And then we play for a later part of the game. I put my own walls up and we maybe grab a third town center, things like that. Then, okay, so if he goes heroic age, then there's also these options of dropping Vanish as a counter to flaming weapons, for example. If it's Njord, which is a little bit more powerful, I probably need to get my own heroic age in and have my Dow up, or not even just Dow, my infantry upgrade to make my halberdiers stronger. If I get that tech, then things get really good for me against the raiding cavalry. So maybe the more prudent approach here in this matchup is to be playing defense, maybe looking for raids with the Chillin. Maybe that's the one thing that I could look for, but I think that it's just so risky on the fact that Herser is so quick at 5.5 speed that I don't feel like it's an option against a good player. So I'm going to probably not build Chillin, and I'm just going to build Kwafu. And if I just build Kwafu, then, and I'm spamming units, then when it comes to the second gold mine defense, where he's probably going to be wanting to take a fight, because if he waits, then I'm going to get heroic age in, and then he's going to be into another issue coming up with the fact that he hasn't fought, he hasn't got any extra favor in, and he's probably slowly falling behind on economy, which, yes, he's going to be slowly falling behind on the economy. Then he's going to come over onto the gold mine, and I'm going to have a very nice defensive approach where that's concerned. So, to sum it all up, to summarize, don't push forward to fight, because you're going to lose your halberdier. Maybe build more halberdier. Get a better scout on the enemy army, so you build the right amount of units. Play defense. If you see a town center, with your lanterns, I guess you could probably spot if town center is going up with the lanterns. Go for your own town center as a response. That's fine. Go heroic age nicely, and focus on getting to that heroic age without taking a fight. That's got to be the way to play here for Nuwa. And then from there, if we get to the heroic age, I feel like and we get the upgrades in, I feel like the matchup is going to become a little bit less painful. Also, you can start getting White Horse Cav in to deal with Throw and Axeman. So then once that happens, now we can play aggressive. We can run into the enemy army because the Throw and Axeman will be hitting White Horse Cav instead of Halberdier. So there's that. But yeah, that's my running play. That's what I think I learned from this game. That's what I'm going to try and implement in the next games. Of course, I'm always going to be looking for these building blocks. I feel like if I'd gotten the raiding cavalry trap with my halberdiers in my main base, then, well, he would have lost the game on the spot. So that's an option there, which means that he's got to be really careful about raiding a Nuwa. And I'm always going to have that in the back of my mind. And everyone else should as well. So everyone who watches this video and understands that one fact realizes that Norse can't raid Nuwa. And if Norse does raid Nuwa and you've got that trap set up, it's game over for the Norse player. So happy days. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. If you're missing the casts, don't worry. I'm going to put some out over the next couple of days. Leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Bye for now.